And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Factorio in our 1.0 Uber production series, and there is a lot of things to update everybody on. I have spent the last week working in the game, getting it ready for the next chapter in the Uber production saga here, and so there's a lot to update. I'll hope to get through it in one episode, so we can start working towards just extreme production. First of all, I have wrapped the base in a wall, and we are protected all the way around. It's a pretty simple protection, all the way around, basically. I've started the rail system, and I basically started up in the corner, and I tried to get decent, vectors going here that missed a lot of the deposits that we have around. Now, there are a few areas and instances where I have to sort of veer off and kind of avoid different things, and I do that pretty nicely. Some of these giant veins of ore, I wanted to make sure that we can mine those. We have plenty of them around. I've labeled a lot of these for future reference, where we are going to build our new copper smelting, where, blue circuits are going to go. I tried to space them out decently. As decently as I could, but I also want to ensure that the trains don't get cluttered, and so I'm kind of gonna experiment with a new sort of strategy when it comes to did I actually put those together? Oh no, I didn't. Those are. Yeah, my new setup and my old setup are literally one square difference. So one of the strategies that we ran into is during the stream in November is the stations got way too crowded were for input and output. And so I'm going to separate the two. Here's the unload for steel, and here's the load way over here. So I'm separating the two here to try to spread out the traffic. Another thing is, as you can see, these intersections are different than these intersections. Okay, the rail blueprint book that was made and referenced by one of the viewers is good. I like most of what it does. The intersections, however, are an absolute disaster. There are way too many signals in here, and there's really no benefit, because I have watched, and this is especially true for the stream, I've watched the system, and there's really no benefit. Any train that's traveling straight through is still going to block the train traveling the other direction. So there's really no benefit to the system. And as you can see, the straight segments are only going in one simple direction. If you wanted to go straight north, you have to veer off here, go in here, and that blocks basically everybody. So there's really no benefit to having a complex system like this. And so I designed my own, and I integrated it with the system. And so it uses the same separation of grids that the original system had. So if we overlay it here, you can see it lines up with the power poles and all of that stuff. And the added benefit to this system here is the right turn doesn't use the intersection at all. So you can have trains taking right turns all day and not even bother one another. So I much prefer this. to any other. Now, there is one change that you can make. I have regular signals separating all of this. So what that means is a train can go east or west and not run into one another, okay? Now, if you have traffic specifically going in any one direction more than others, you can change these to chain signals so they don't get stuck in here. So you can adjust your chain signals in here. If you have a lot of left turns, like this train coming in going left, you're going to want a chain signal in here to ensure he doesn't come in here and stop like right here. Okay? Because he can come in here and stop right there, and then nobody can turn left. So you can change these up to chain signals, and that restricts traffic a little bit more. But yeah, it was fairly easy. I did this during the stream, one of the last streams for Factorio in November. I built this little thing here. The other big news is we are using the new version of the game, 1.1, and we have a change in the UI, and the UI for inventory and crafting is now changed because they got rid of the tabs, and a lot of little tweaks and changes to, say, some icons and stuff, but also big quality of life changes. This game is phenomenal for quality of life changes. You can click and drag, and you can see I'm moving my mouse, and it's stuck on that line. It locks it into whatever direction you're going, and it's so nice. It's so nice having that feature. And the other feature is my new favorite button in the map. There is this button here, Worker Robots. This allows you to actually visualize the robots in the game. And you now, in addition, you can use the deconstruction planner and pretty much the upgrade planner from the map here. So I can take this and do this, and there's the bots. Look at that. You can see your bots now. Oh, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I'm so happy about that. Just like, I think it was last recording session, I mentioned oh man, I wish I could see the bots cruising around. That would be so cool if you could see the bots flying around. And look at that, they added it. It's crazy. I didn't even know that, but they added it anyway. All right, we are going to go to the main base. I've been trying to drain out all of my stations here. We're going to go to manual for you. So this iron station is now gone. Let's see, I can probably deconstruct it. I want to make sure you and you can go. Plastic load I'm trying to drain out as well. As you can see, I've slowly been working on getting all of this stuff out. The only one that's left is this giant copper system. And I don't really know what to do about that, because while there's still there's 3.8 million copper left in there, this little thing over here, and we still have a whole warehouse full of it. I don't know what is going on here, but let's see. We're gonna go to main base iron plastic. We're gonna take you away. Because we're going to run out of iron here real soon. So yeah, we are using the new version of the game, and it also allows us the feature that I have been working towards for a very long time. Is the train stops now. You can enable train limits. So I've been waiting for that feature for quite some time. And yeah, we are going to be able to use that feature right away. Okay, so the first thing we want is let's cover the things and stuff that we are doing. So I have allowed in the last week, since the last recording session, I have allowed the game to run overnight several times. And if I had this in a server, I wouldn't have had to do that. But since it's on my local machine, I had to let it run overnight, and it's great. It's a great game. As long as, as soon as I was protected here, I was able to start it up and run it overnight. Yeah, one of the reasons I did that is for modules. So we have 20,000 productivity modules, 11,000 of the speed modules, and we're building up some more efficiencies. I don't use a whole lot of these in my setups, but we do have some efficiencies ready to go. But I've started building up. We've now got 40,000 accumulators built up, and there's a real reason I did that. And as you can see, I also kind of refactored blue circuits here and added some red circuits. Just a little bit of production for, things for the modules to keep up. We were hurting on blue circuits, and it was really janky. And so I built a little system here. This isn't our final system, but it produces quite a few blue circuits for us. And we've got a nice good supply of them here. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of these ready to go. The other thing I did, let me cover that real quick. First of all, I've expanded power quite a bit. Added a few more of those. But all this in here, this is all stuff I researched and got auto crafting. This is mainly one of the reasons I got blue circuits kind of maxed out, because this process was very, very slow. But yeah, we've got a laser rifle now. I've got the top tier of laser rifle ammo going. I've got all of the armor goodies. We've got the the laser defense. We've got the shield. So if we look at my armor, which is now on this side of the screen, you can see I've got some decent amount of things going in here. Lots of Mark IV reactors, lots of lasers, a couple shields, which, you don't really need any more than a couple of these, unless you're going into the thick of things, or you have Bob's enemies or another enemies mod that boosts up, higher tier enemies. So yeah, this is all like personal Roboport, our personal stuff up here. And then down here, we have a lot of vehicle stuff. So we have the vehicle fusion reactors. We have vehicle laser defense, vehicle shields, vehicle plasma cannons, vehicle batteries. We have the vehicle overdrive engines. These are personal batteries. Yeah, these are personal batteries way over there. But this is like armaments for vehicles, because we have the Spider Bro here, who has a truly massive grid. This guy's grid is huge, and I don't think there's a way to make this any bigger, but that's fine. And now he has logistics. Believe it or not, Spider Bro can have logistics, which is crazy. You can have him request, ammo, and yeah, you can basically automate Spider Bro now. And since I updated all the mods, we now have Bob's mods, added a few more Spider Bros in here. So the walking vehicle is a more early game version, and that kind of splits off all of the components of Spider Bro to be able to craft him. And then real Spider Bro is a little, later on in the system, and he also uses like the mech frame and the legs and stuff like that. And then there's a top tier version, Heavy Spidertron. And it looks like he has something akin to 8 rocket launchers, but you can see the grid size 10 by 10 versus our Spider Bro, which is 24 by 20. So I don't need that top tier one because I have the mod that tweaks regular Spider Bro's grid size, and he's gonna turn into my destruction on legs, because I'll be able to send him off to a base, and he'll just obliterate that base, just absolutely crush it. And yeah, that's fun. Down here we have this little system here, and that it might look funny, but these are part of a mod that I'm going to get into right now. But I was getting a lot of coal building up in here, like a lot of coal building up in this setup up here. And I needed a place for that to go, and so I've looped it around and fed into here. Well, these were all shut off. And so I've connected them with this to these electric boilers, which are part of the Factorio Power Redo mod. Those electric boilers are feeding into regular, the steam engine Mark IIs. These are producing roughly 14 megawatts apiece, which is going into my grid. And so one of the things I can do here is I can split this off. We're gonna grab some copper wire. You can go there. And we're gonna have a power switch. I know these are automated, but it's just faster if I do this. Okay, this is going to connect when coal is greater than, let's say 10. So enable when coal is greater than 10. And coal is greater than 10 when this thing down here in storage, okay, when storage is greater than 10. And then I'm going to connect using the wire U to U, U to U. So this will only kick on when there's some coal sitting in here. And that's, that's fine. I'm on board with that. Yeah, I've maxed out my recyclers now. They are exceptionally fast. I've upgraded most of the bus to the top tier of the things and the stuff. So yeah, we're set up here for maximum efficiency, and yeah, we have some new tips here. Mark is red. If you're a new player, you can read those and follow along. All right, so getting into the next big reason why I wanted to get this recording done is the power situation. Now, we could continue building the nuclear power setups ad infinitum. So we could just keep building them. We could take a square, say, and just build dozens and dozens and dozens of these. And we have now our nuclear processing center. These are all upgraded to Mark III centrifuges. And we have, 170,000 of the fuel. Fuel is not an issue right now. So yeah, we could keep building and building and building these. The problem is, because this is an Uber production series, the problem is updates per second. Your UPS counter up here is the absolute master of the game. If that starts to drop, you will start feeling really lethargic in game. The game will start to really suffer because your UPS starts dropping. And it's anything below 30, and you're really going to start hurting. Okay, now when it comes to UPS efficiency, this setup is horribly inefficient. Horribly inefficient. Each one of these steam turbines has to be simulated individually. It's consuming steam, it's generating power every tick. And so every tick, each one of these setups is using a vast amount of computer resources in order to simulate the consumption of the fuel, the heat, the steam, the movement of fluids. Like, these are horribly UPS inefficient systems. Now, in contrast, solar energy is incredibly efficient. Okay, the game basically takes all of your solar panels, and you might have dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of solar panels, and simulates them all in one calculation, because all of them produce the exact same amount of power depending on the time of day. And so it takes, let's say you have solar panels that produce 60 kilowatts, and at the time of day they're producing 33. So that's one calculation. Solar panels take, they're 50% or something like that, so they're 50% efficient. Okay, the game just takes the number of solar panels you have and multiplies it by how much power they're producing, and in one tick, one update, it knows how much power to produce, and it just does it. There's very, very little calculation involved in supplying power via solar panels. Now, accumulators are a little bit trickier because it has to calculate how much power to give, what the power rate is. So there's a little bit trickier at night. Your UPS might be hit because of the updates. But during the day, solar panels are the way to go. And because this is Uber production, we are going to go crazy with the solar panels, which is why I have 87,000 solar panels. Now, I do not want I don't want to take up one of these squares with solar panels. I think that's fine if you're in a vanilla only game. If you're strictly vanilla, go for it. Giant solar fields, just, go for it. Your heart's content. But we are going to be using a vast amount of power. Right now, we are sitting at about 2 gigawatts of power with the amount of power that we have here. And we could easily exceed that with just one of my setups that I'm planning for next episode, which is the steel. We could easily exceed that. So I would like to introduce the mod that I've mentioned down here, the same mod that adds these extra boilers and steam engines, also adds new tiers of solar panels. No, not those, these. And their icons are messed up because of the new version. I think they have to kind of go in and redo. They're just colored versions of the regular solar panel. So the next one is, I don't know. He has to go in and tweak the mod a little bit, mod author. But one of the things I did, the mod author that has updated the mod and has named it, it's not the Lazarus or Lavarius or whatever. Now it's Factorio Power Redux because he took it over and updated it. But one of the things that he introduced is, first of all, it's 3 solar panels to make the next tier instead of 10. So that's a little bit easier on the resources. But the other thing he does is every tier has a percentage loss, roughly like 30% loss in power generation. And the whole point of this mod is to compress down the amount of power, the amount of space that you need for the power, so the same amount of power. Okay, so you have 8 tiers of these solar panels. Now, the amount of power, if you calculate it all the way back up, so take these, 3 of these go into here, 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's like 8 to the 3rd power, which is like 6,500. So for every one of these is 6,500 of these. That is a huge amount of resources going into there. But you, if you did the math on each one of these at 60 kilowatts, 6,500 of these should come to about 393 megawatts. However, when you got down to this level, due to the percentage loss all the way down the line, These, if you strictly download the mod and use it, only produce around 90 megawatts. So you are losing 300 megawatts worth of potential power by going down this tree. And for this series, I thought that was a bridge too far. And so I went in and I tweaked the mod. I basically modded the mod to allow for zero loss of efficiency. So now the math turns out, so the Mark 8s do 294 megawatts of power. And remember, there's 6,500 of these in here. And so you take the steel and the copper and the circuits times 6,500. As far as resources go, there's zero cheatiness because I'm using the exact same amount of resources. Actually, I'm using more because every tier of this also uses more resources. And so it's actually less resource efficient to build one of these than it is to just build 6,500 of these. But the amount of space that I would need for 6,500 of these would exceed the size of my base if I wanted to make the same amount of power as what is in here. So yeah, space-wise, I am fine with this. And anybody out there who's complaining about it has no idea how much space you would need for 6,500 solar panels. It's just outrageous. So one of the things I also did is I also made the research cheaper. Okay, so if we go all the way up to the top tier here, this is way cheaper than it usually is. And that's just because it was so out of balance. Like you needed like 128 of these versus one of the. It was so skewed and out of balance. It just messed up my research completely. And it took forever to research it. So I want to research all of these. You can see this is 1,000. This is going to be 2,000 reds just for that one research. Okay. Next one is going to be another 2,000 reds, 2,000 blues, and I think we can hammer out quite a few of these. And even this one, that one's going to be 2,000 of the space. That one is going to be 8,000 reds. But we have upgraded our reds, and we could even upgrade them more if we wanted to. But I wanted to get this started right away before too long, because we are going to need obscene amounts of power going forward. Just absolutely obscene. And we're going to go and we're going to say, all right, we want, let's see. We want 1, 2, 3 of the next tier, which will pop up as soon as that happens. And if we look ahead, it is plate and circuits, so we do not need plate and circuits. So we need iron plate over here. Circuits are fine. Okay. And if we look at this, iron plate, circuits, and 3 solar panels. All right. So the next step is going to be up here, and I want a storehouse for that. So you are going to go there. Iron plate. Of course it's iron plate. It's the one resource that we're actually short on right now. So there's iron plate. There's circuits. There's solar panels. So we have we're going to have input, 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 output, output, output. output is going to go one extra out to put on this one. And then this like so. This can be Mark 1 solar panel, like so. And if we power all this up, this is a huge amount of like crazy amount of resources. I might need to set these all. Are we low here because of... No, we're just hurting. Alright, so these, again, 180. So it's 3 of the 60. 3 times 6 is 18. We have 180 ready to go here. And why is... Oh, yeah, we're out of iron plate. Yeah, I saw that coming. Saw that one loud and clear. We might have to do a temporary iron plate setup, as we are out of iron plate. And how close are we to emptying this stupid thing? Oh, 63,000 yet there. Let's pack them all in here. Whoa. So copper is full. Yeah, I'm gonna need iron over here, bad, in a bad way. All right. Well, as you know, there's a lot of research to do, and I would like to get our iron up and running as soon as possible. And so yeah, we're gonna let this grind away. You know, this will be fine. This is actually using steel, which we're producing locally, but it's using circuits, and circuits are going to run out because we are not able to make any more of them because we don't have any iron on the way. All right, so for now, what I'm going to do is we're going to close this off. So that basically disables any new trains from coming in. And that train is coming over here, and it's going to pick up, hopefully, a few more of these. Yeah, I would like to get rid of the other train stop here. We've got all of this, which can be taken out. Yeah, this is going to require a lot of storage. When I deconstruct all of this, oh man, is this going to be a lot of storage. So I would like a bunch of storage warehouses. I'll let those craft, and we will come back next episode and try to get some iron mining and steel up and running. No guarantees though, because wow, this is going to be crazy. I knew I was going to run out of steel, or iron, I mean, and wow, did it happen fast. And so all of these trains are going to need to be switched and put on some other system. But that's going to have to do it for this episode, and I thank you all for watching. Please hit that like button. If you are enjoying the series so far, comment down below if you've got a question, something to say, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And consider being a Patreon and helping me out. That is my primary income. YouTube does not pay me much at all. I mean, I don't even get money every month because you need at least $100 to even get anything, and that does not happen very often. So you know, anything that you can provide would be very much appreciated. And yeah. I'll see you next time.